boys and girls, this is Miss Curry. Today we're going to work on a new number of the day. Today's number is 15. I was thinking about the task that we did with Pam's shopping trip and the number of 15, and it got me thinking that 15 is a pretty cool number to work on. Today, while I'm jotting all my ideas down, I want to try to do it in a little bit of a more organized fashion so that my ideas make sense. So I was thinking to myself, I kind of had three different ways that I was thinking about the number of 15. I was using addition and subtraction as my operations. And then I also had a section that were visual representations of 15. So I know that I can write 15 in digits, a 1 and a 5, that makes 15. I can also write 15 in word form. So 15 is spelled this way, and that's just a whole new representation of the word. If I was going to work on my addition side, I know that 15 plus 0 equals 15. I also know that I could use the commutative property. I could switch the order of the addends to make it look a little different. 0 plus 15 also equals 15. 14 plus 1, and then 1 plus 14. I know that word commutative is kind of a big word. Try to say it with me. Commutative. It means that we can switch the order that our addends are working in. 13 plus 2, and then using the commutative property, 2 plus 13. I could do 12 plus 3 and 3 plus 12. In math, one of the things we do as mathematicians is we look for patterns. I'm seeing a pattern here. Let's look at this together. 15, 14, 13, 12. This side is decreasing every other expression. So 15, 14, 13, 12. I'm going to do 11 plus 4. And this side is increasing. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's interesting. As mathematicians, we're always looking for patterns or things that are happening with numbers to try to make sense of them. I also used 3 addends when I was working on our numbers last week, so I'm going to try to work on that again. I'm going to decompose 15, and I'm going to take apart the 10 and the 5. So I know that 10 plus 5 is 15, and I know that I can also break apart or decompose my 10 into 5 plus 5 plus 5. That equals 15. I could leave my 10 as a whole number and I could decompose the 5. I could do 10 plus 4 plus 1. I could decompose the 5 in a different way and do 10 plus 3 plus 2. And I could think of some other ways to make 15 too. I'm going to leave space here for you to think about some additional ways to use addition to get to 15. I want to move to my subtraction side. Subtraction would mean that I would need to start with 15 or a number larger than 15 so that when I take the second digit away, it gets smaller and comes down to 15. I'm going to start again with 15 minus 0. I know that 16, if I take 1 away, that will get me 15. 17 minus 2 will get me 15. 18 minus 3. 19 minus 4. Mathematicians, you may be noticing a pattern here as well. Let's look at what's happening. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. This is all increasing, and they're all increasing by 1. So this pattern is an increase by 1 pattern. Let's look at this side. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This has a pattern too. This side is also an increase by 1 pattern. I could keep going. 20, minus 5. 21 minus 6. I'm going to leave space for you to keep going. Down below, I want to review some of the ideas that we had last time and try to apply them to this number. Using tens and one sticks, I can represent 15 as 1 10 and 5 ones. I could also use money to represent 15. I could use a dime and pennies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I know that that's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now, I could also use bills instead of just coins to extend my thinking from last week. I could use a $10 bill, and then I could use $1 bills as well. $10 bills and $1 bills are the exact same size, so I want to try to keep them as close as possible to real life. So that's $15. I know that using a clock, I can represent 15. And in fact, that's a pretty common representation. So 12 at the top, 6 at the bottom, 3 to the right, 9 to the left. And this time I'm only going to fill in those digits. So I know that at the 12, it's o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Now, when I move down, we count by fives. So 5, 10, 15. So if I had a minute hand, let's say for example that it was 9 o'clock. So the shorthand, the hour hand is going to point to the 9. My long hand is going to point to the 12. This shows 9 o'clock. If this minute hand moved all the way down here, then that would be 15 minutes time has elapsed. Think about something that might take you 15 minutes. Maybe we could think about that too. I think it takes me about 15 minutes to eat my lunch. So I'm going to draw myself a sandwich, maybe an apple, maybe a nice glass of water, maybe even a string cheese because I really like string cheese. So eating my lunch takes me about 15 minutes. Why don't you think of something that takes you about 15 minutes? And why don't you draw a picture of it? Boys and girls, today my number was 15. I'm going to challenge you to think about the number 20. If you were going to do a pictorial drawing just like me, but your number was going to be 20, what would it look like? I'm challenging you to make your own representations of the number 20. Snap a picture, take a video, do what you like, but go ahead and get that into your teacher so that they can see all of your great ideas.